Hello, everyone. Obviously, I'm gonna wait a second for people to join. Yeah, I guess I should just wait a quick second. Let's throw some music in the background because. Actually, no, let's not throw some music in the background because that's gonna confuse me and distract me. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Obviously, I'm in the middle of doing my makeup. I have an event tonight that I'm not sure if I'm supposed to talk or not allowed to talk about. It's nothing crazy, but doing my makeup for a thing tonight right now. But coming at y'all to discuss something that was brought to my attention by a follower. Pardon the filter as well. That literally my makeup cuts off here, so I figured that was a good filter to use. So I guess someone had just DM'd me something that was posted on Reddit about me, I guess 3 hours ago, and I am not really one to check up on the Reddits unless friends send me funny things from whatever, so I'm not on there. I do not have an account. I do not check this it's something worth checking all the time. And yeah, so getting that out of the way, I'm really perturbed right now because I guess someone had posted, would it be easier to read this? Because I basically I'm trying to clear the air up about a story that is completely false. It's nothing actually super dramatic. I guess let me get that out of the way as well. This is not Aquaria, I don't know, did something bad. This is not that, but this hurts me as in the heart, I guess, as a person, because this is not who I've ever been at a point in my life. And it's really not I guess in theory, without any context right now, it's not that serious, so let me and it's untrue, so I guess it doesn't fucking even matter. But here we go. So the post is called, "Was Aquaria a bully at school?" Which sounds dumb in the first place, but here we are talking about it. I get that everyone's bored right now, and I get that everyone's a little stir-crazy, getting their cabin fever, but I gotta make it very, very clear. We've really gotta be mindful of, the bullshit that we're making up, and the stories, and the evil DMs you'd be sending to people, telling them kill themselves and stuff like that. Everyone's fucking bored, and it's showing. So pardon me for, being a little jittery about this right now, but it's just, really bothering me right now. Okay, so the post goes. I don't even know what... Actually, let's look at it. You guys are on a different device of mine right now, so this is the post, and basically the summary of this is... I don't know what the context is, because it's a screenshot of a thing. I've hardly even skimmed through the comments, but they're also so bothering to me. I guess prefacing this with, I get that I make mistakes, I get that I do some silly shit, I get that I put my foot in my mouth, but I am, deep down from day one, I've been brought up so gratefully by some really incredible parents who have always instilled in me, treat others the way you want to be treated, kindness is everything, etc., etc., etc. And I think people sometimes get a skewed vision of me, but I think at the end of the day, a lot of people know that is deep down, I am a person who genuinely always means well. So this is pissing me off right now. And I guess my tone is because I'm more bothered by this than angry about it, but I sound a little whatever. So the post goes, it was verbal bullying related to. It was verbal because if it was physical, he would have been expelled. Let me just finish reading this and then we'll address. Again, I wasn't there. This is also by someone who wasn't there, is a friend of a sister's, of a granddaughter, of a father, of a dog. So, again, I wasn't there. My sister said he made his life, I think also the the pronounery and the friend of the friend things in here gets a little wordy and confusing. So literally, personally, I don't even kind of know quite what's going on. He said, I'm sorry, I wasn't there. My sister said he made his life hell. So I'm assuming this poster guy has like a friend who is a lady who has a brother, and I was bullying the brother, allegedly, or whatever. He said he would say the nastiest shit to him in the hallways, say stuff over Instagram, etc. Girl, that when I was in high school, Instagram was not even a thing. Like, I think it was like sophomore year maybe, when it like became something for like people to get, and I was posting pictures of like rice balls and Lady Gaga, you know. So it's like, that's that. Let me continue to read and try to not stop. The kid ended up literally switching schools. It's astonishing to me because Shivani was so flamboyant and wore platform shoes and stuff like that. No one believes because they refuse to accept someone they love has a shitty past. Maybe she's changed, but she probably hasn't. I guess that's me. I haven't changed, I guess. There's a difference between being a bully at age 12 and being a bully at age 17 and 18, which I guess is what I'm being accused of. And I guess like high school bully stuff is not something that I should be as bothered by. But I am. Mainly because it's just so untrue, and also that's like such a fucked up, like, even though kids are stupid or whatever, that's such a fucked up like way to be a kid, I think. There's blah blah blah. The only possible proof I can offer anyone is yearbook photos or something. I'm not friends with the victim's sister anymore. She fucked me over. I don't even know what that means. But also, of course, I guess it's annoying to like address random bullshit because I see it all the time, and it's stressful for me because I do make plenty of mistakes and I do put my foot in my mouth plenty of times, but it's hard to like address things because then that makes it like a real thing, and then like but like just these comments are like, that's not hard to believe, she is a brat. I get what you're saying, but like, what else? Aquaria is a cunt, so is anyone surprised? I'm someone who likes to give off that I'm very certain of myself, and that I like to project like a commanding sense when I'm serious, I guess. I do not think that I consider myself a cunt, a brat, a bully. I'm kind of getting even a bit sidetracked right now because I'm just like so confused as to how this could be a thing. Someone's saying that, where was it? I've heard this before from someone that Aquaria made their life, quote, a living hell, unquote. I couldn't imagine, like, I definitely grew up with like a very, compared to a lot of people, like a very accepting family, which I'm really grateful for. Minus some elements of my, not earlier years, but you know what I mean? Like the time in which we're discussing the schoolings and stuff, grew up in a fairly, just, I don't know. I don't even know how to say what I'm saying. And, I don't know if that's a good thing or not the best, but like, I never grew up, like with a reason to bully people. I had a reason to be mad at the bullies, but I had no reason to bully people, and I really truly believe that I was never one of those people. I know, I don't need to tell you that I know firsthand, but I know, like, very firsthand what it's like to be bullied, and I don't think a lot of people can not relate to that. So I guess maybe keeping things shorter and briefer, I wanted to put that story to rest. I've never... Have I said some shitty things about some kids at school? Probably. Literally everybody does. Like, that's not, like, but I have never, been someone who would have it in my body to shout things at people, in a hallway. I was too fucking scared, like, in high school to even fucking talk in the hallway, to walk in the hallway, I had 2 friends. I maybe started freshman year with a couple more than 2 friends. Completely was kind of like, me and my original friend group kind of, faded apart, which is not a big deal. Nothing about them, but they were also not the evil bully type, if that makes any sense or whatever. The 2 friends that I had, like, all throughout sophomore and junior and senior year, oh my god, fucking school, we're also not that type. We were as flashy and extra as I am, like, I was gonna have to burp, I just had dinner. Actually, I don't. We were, like, the quiet photo kids, the art kids. I would literally spend every, what do you call it, like, a lunch, or, like, I would never have a study hall. I'd always be in the art room. I'd always be at the computer on the photo bullshit. And I would not be the person to be yelling at someone in the hall. I would not be the person to have been assumed that, had I been physical to the extent that I was allegedly verbal, that I would be expelled from school. That's, like, literally, I was literally I also choose to not remember a lot about school, because also to remember anything that I learned in school. Kidding. I choose to not remember a lot about school because a lot of the time that wasn't me painting or me editing photographs on the computers was, like, not a fun time. Not that I didn't like the school. I like the school part of the school, but the people, we were not vibing ever. I was never, like, I was flashy because I always will be me, like, as best as I can, and I will not let, like, any bullies or bullshit stop me from rocking my stupid little Versace for H&M little sweater jumper thing. Like, I'm not gonna let some guy calling me the F word, like, bother me. But I'm also not going to give that to anyone either. Just because I had the confidence to, like, dress the way that I dressed in school, which, looking back, is a very whack as hell. But just because I had that confidence does not mean that I was returning the favor to allegedly some other gay kid and, like, trying to homophobia him while I was limp-wristing out, if that makes any sense. Obviously, I guess this sounds like so much abstract concept and beating of around the bush, but just when I was sent this, like, I'm usually not someone to be bothered by... That's not true. I'm always bothered by what people say, especially when it's untrue or assumptive, assuming of my, like, incorrect. When people are judging my character completely incorrectly based off stories that they've heard from people, that heard from a person of a friend of a thing that you saw in a comment on a post that someone liked, it's just, you can't, like, you can't take me being sassy about something this year and assume I must have verbally bullied this kid out of my fucking school when I was a high schooler, because I carry myself with confidence, and sometimes that leads to me being a little sassy nowadays. Like, it's always bothered me when people assume that I grew up with like tons of money, with all of that bullshit, because I know personally that that has been a struggle in my life for quite a while. I was always fucking pissed when people would discredit my work, coming up in New York and coming up on Drag Race, saying that I came from a background that financially especially allowed me to make my life fucking easy, as if I was not working for these things. And this is another instance where I don't know how this assumption has been made about my past when I was 17 or 18, allegedly. But it's gotta fucking stop. It's like, it would be different if like someone was just like, girl, you're crazy, stop. But like, the fact that people are agreeing with that and continuing to misunderstand the type of person that I am is extremely hurtful. I think, above all, I don't do a great job of like explaining myself, I guess you could say, but I also am extremely bothered when I'm misunderstood, and sometimes I don't help people understand me, but all in all, I, one, have to finish doing my makeup because I do have a thing happening later tonight, but two, want to clarify that I would never be the person to verbally, physically, mentally, fantasily abuse, harass, bully anyone, let alone a fellow LGBTQIA pluser. I don't even remember if I said this earlier. I was literally the president of the GSA. Like God, I don't even remember literally anything about school. What do you even call them? I don't know. There was a special word for our main guidance counselor lady or whatever. But she and I were like this. We would always, I would always have lots of issues that I don't talk about, that aren't that important, that aren't that that aren't terribly dark or anything like that. So don't worry about that. But me and Miss Kiesel would she would get me through my issues. My European history teacher was also one of the not the moderators, what do you call them? The people in charge of making sure the kids are doing the GSA correctly. And these people would be people that would inspire me to not only not let people who are bullying me affect the way that I navigate throughout school and continue to stay involved in my own education, but they would be also people that would try to inspire the rest of the school to be more open-minded about the LGs and the Bs and the Ts and the Qs and the Is and the As, etc. I need to stop worrying about this and letting this bother me, because it just needs to stop. And I need to get back on my beat. But I had no reason to create a living hell, quote unquote, for anyone. I wouldn't even say that my life was a living hell, because it certainly wasn't. I would certainly say that there are many instances where I would be very bullied that I do not talk about, that I've never spoken about, that I maybe one or two people know about, and it's not something that is important, and it's not something that's life-changing or anything, but it's something that was very sad and embarrassing and whatever for me. But like, that's not the important part. What I'm just saying is like, I know what it's like to feel like sometimes, not like unsafe at school, because I mean I wasn't the kid who like get like beat up or anything. Like, I don't think we really did that at our school. But needless to say, I'm not the person who would create that environment for someone. And I know that, I guess, sometimes people who are, metaphorically at least, beat up in life do return that energy to others, that they see that like same character trait in. However, I'm not one of those people. I'm very tired of being bothered by this. I'm sure I'll be continuing to feel bothered by this, which is not what I need to be doing right now, because I have a lot of shit that I need to accomplish. And I could have like not let this bother me. Apparently this is something that people have said before. There's just especially over the past, since I've been blessed with the experiences and good things in life that I have the recent like past few years. There's just been so many false things I've had to read about myself that I've come across myself, that others have sent me wondering what the fuck is up or whatever. And it's just, I'm just like very tired of like reading stuff. Like, you can talk shit about things that don't matter. Like, if you think that I'm some Richie Rich that came from Richie Rich, that had it all fucking easy, that wasn't making ends meet the way that I needed to make ends meet, like, in the city, like, they didn't, like, you can think that, like, that's one thing, but it sounds so corny to attack my character, but to, like, just speak so ill of a younger me that wouldn't have I wouldn't have any of that, like, in my, like, I wouldn't possess any of that in my body, in my being, to be able to torture some kid in the hallway. So, let's please leave that nonsense somewhere else. If y'all are so bored that you need to just fabricate stories about how I was a torturous bully in high school, go masturbate, go do something else. I do not, like, find a better outlet for your boredom. You can ask the people please do not ask the people that I went to school with, because do not bother them with something that I've been bothered by. I had no friends, not no friends, but for all intents and purposes, I had no friends. I was not one of those people who was invited places. I was literally, like, teachers were my friends. No one would vouch for this story being authentic or realistic or something that I could have done or would ever do now. I poke jokes about people all the time. So do you. Y'all are the ones in everyone's fucking inbox telling them to kill themselves. So let's think about that. But I do not condone bullying. I do not do the bullying. And more importantly, I literally was, like, a member of, like, these clubs and things at school that were put in place as to stop bullying and bullshit like that. And it just really hurts to have to read this. And I don't know if I've been a part of the reading of this in the past and have ignored it, but it's just, I'm talking to my followers, so if you are still interested in me, you probably get that this is not something I should even be bothering with right now. And to those who know any sort of older version of me, whether that was sassy 2018 me, trying to become a better person 2019 me, and work on my flaws, or you're dealing with 2020 me, which is unfortunately stuck in a fucking apartment till God knows when, but also just continuing to grow, not grow, but continuing to try to improve myself artistically, but also as a person, when it comes to any flaws that I have, that this is not, that's not me. So I'm gonna go finish my makeup. If I was allowed to say what I'm doing tonight, I would encourage you to all get into that, but I'm sure I'll be able to share something later, so stay tuned for that. Thank you all for hearing me out. Sorry for being dramatic and not quite having a agenda for this. I literally had seen it maybe 10 minutes before I went on live, so if anything was a little scatterbrained or I didn't even touch on topics and stuff, then my apologies for that as well. That's the furthest thing from anything that I would do. I wouldn't even know who the fuck to fucking bullied. I was the only kid in my school who felt, I guess, or at least I thought I was one of the only kids in my school who was out. I don't even know. Moral of the story is, don't assume a book's content by the fact that it's in a library. And now I'm fucking exhausted. But yeah, thank you guys for continuing to stay home and focusing your energy on ways that you can create or better yourselves, or just keep yourself in a right headspace. To those of you who are finding yourselves more bored than I am or the next person is, it's okay to be bored as hell, but don't try to excite yourself at others' expense. And that's genuinely not just talking about me. The shit that I see that some people have been sending to these girls and stuff is just ridiculous. And it doesn't have to all be peaches and cream, but have some fucking respect for yourselves and have some fucking respect for just everyone in the world right now. It's not the fucking time. So respect that. And I'm sure plenty of people will hopefully not give a fuck about this or care, because this is a non-problem discussion. But I'm sure I will be continuing to be feeling a type of way, and people will say some things that'll bug me, and I'll continue to be bothered by it. Or maybe I can try to not be bothered by it. That would seem like the more 2020 adult version of me. So I do want to sign this off, or else I'm going to be stuck on this stupid live for the rest of my life. But just know that if you are being bullied in school, it's okay to no one's being bullied in school right now because no one's in school. Huh. Well, I guess there's a good side to everything. Well, if you are bullying people, try to take a step back and it's like hard to do for kids, I guess. But just like think about like why you're doing what you're doing, and maybe you're doing it because you're not happy with something, or maybe family life is hard, or maybe school is bugging you, or something. Your peers are making you feel like that's like something you need to do, but it's definitely not. And I'm clearly not talking to anyone that would probably be involved in any of that. So, needless to say, try to just support your friends if they're going through something. Support your friends if they're the ones putting people through something, and try to figure out a way to get them some sort of help. Because all you can do is treat others the way you want to be treated. And yeah, this is definitely the last that I would like to talk about my issues publicly, in regards to what I dealt with in high school. So on that note, have a lovely Saturday evening. And yeah, thank you all for listening. Be safe. Stay home. Thank you guys so much. And good night.